Well, guess who's back? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith. Ooh. Are those charts perking up? Guess what? They are. Hope you guys are prepared. I've been warning you and watching and waiting and being frustrated, being irritated, being mad, borderline depression and anxiety attacks. Guess what? Go time. I hope you were ready. We're going to talk all about it for the next hour. It's going to be charts with some random banter from me that means absolutely nothing, but more so about the data. Welcome, everybody, to Crypto Before Dark. If you would please go hit the like button. It costs absolutely nothing. Whether you're watching over on X, you can give us a like and a repost. Whether you're watching over on Rumble, which I appreciate you guys watching over on Rumble, you can give it a like and a repost. And if you're watching over on YouTube, hey, guess what? Likes are absolutely free. So you can go hit the like button there as well. We'd love to have just as many likes as views. It never happens, but I'd love to see it. I think that would be awesome for a change, to have just as many likes as viewers. Boy, have charts really perked up. You saw me talk about last stream and the stream before that and the stream before that and the stream before that about liquidity zones, what would happen and where those likely targets would be and where the price was likely to attack in order to take out the enemy. Essentially, this whole market is a balance. This whole market is a game of tug of war back and forth between the bears and the bulls. They're constantly pulling on that rope, trying to get that flag in the middle over on their side. All right. As you see by the chart sitting right in front of you, the bulls have been pulling, and they've been pulling hard. What have they been doing? Dragging those bears' asses. Have the bears won?
Wrong.
No, they've won nothing. They've won nothing. Hey, bears.
Gotcha, bitch.
You thought you were going to win, didn't you? Psych!
Damn. Bloody fuck you, bloody.
That's the last one right there for you. That's the last one. Let me hit the jazz. I got to cool off a little bit. Those liquidity zones have started to get wiped. It's a beautiful thing. If you remember last stream, I talked about this, right? This box was red and it was labeled resistance. And I said it was crucial. It was crucial that we get above this box where this previous high was at about 117, nuke out that liquidity. Once you nuke that liquidity out, you take those guys and you set them over on the side and they go, shh, damn, what do we do now? Well, should we try to be bearish again? Let's wait on that trend to fail. Has the trend failed? Trend is still going up. As a matter of fact, for the first time in a long time, we have broke out. Clean shot through that little short-term trend line right there. Pushed clean through where I thought it would stop and at least think about it and hesitate. Nope. She just kept on plowing right through. Now it has flipped resistance into support. You love to see it. It took forever, but it's finally happened. Finally, we've got some positive price action. We keep hitting these very long stretches of months at a time where price either goes down or sideways, but you guys are starting to learn it's acting more and more like traditional markets. Does it still have its flurries? Well, clearly it still has its flurries. We're looking at one of them right now. Quite a flurry that's going on with Bitcoin's entire ecosystem. Not only is it Bitcoin, but it's all the other coins that run on Bitcoin, like Litecoin and Zcash and Bitcoin Cash and a couple others run on that Lightning Network. But a lot of other stuff are starting to respond also. And we'll get into that in a moment. But first, let's talk about what we see here. So we're over all the moving averages. You can forget about those. Throw them in the trash for now. We're above all of them. And all they're going to do is act as rolling support on the way up. All these lines down here are just support lines now. Excellent. Exactly what we needed to see. What about the pivot points? These kind of give us predetermined reversal points along the way, up or down. R would be downward reversal points and S would be upward reversal points. As you see, we have blown right through R1. Perfect. Blown right through R2. Perfect. And now R3 is all the way up here, right here, where the very last liquidity zone remains for the shorts to pull on the rope. This is where they made their big stand last time. I said, no. You're not going way up yet. No moon Lambo. Snap your fingers, and she came sprinting back down, right? Remember that? I remember that. It sucked. Really hoped for a reversal from that point, but we never got it. You got a big bearish engulfing, and it just swallowed up every bit of buy pressure that happened to been there, right? But that was quarter three. We've started a new quarter now. Now it's the first of the month. That's right. And we started a new month, a new week, and a new quarter, and we're ending off 2025 just like we've ended off every other year after having, with some power. We thought this might happen. We've been waiting on it. We speculated it would be October. Would it be December? We weren't really sure. We knew this would be the last big push. Now, how long is it going to last? Still speculative at this point, and I don't like to go throwing the rod way off in the water. I like to wait around a little bit and fish near the boat, right? So for now, we're fishing near the boat. We've broken out. We've got through 2 different resistance levels. Need to maintain them now. Holding on to this 120 level is a big deal. We're right there right now, about 121 floating around. Anything over 117 makes me very happy. As you see, that's that support level that I've got drawn right there, 117. Anything over that, it's not too bad. I do expect a slowdown when we get up here to this last liquidity level. You can't keep taking big bites like this without swallowing your food down and digesting a little bit, right? These are some big bites out of the market right here. As a matter of fact, it's responsible for damn near almost $500 billion worth of money. That's a big bite. So understand you got to chew on that for a minute, digest that down before you can take another bite, okay? That doesn't mean we're done. Doesn't mean we're done. It just means it's done a lot really quickly, and a lot of times that backfires on us. I can remind you of what's happened before when we've taken really big bites. We get these long consolidation periods. I do think it's going to have a slowdown here somewhere around that 123 mark. That doesn't mean it's going to stay there long or pull back for long, but I do expect somewhat of a rollback. You can't just have only up. Not the way it works, folks. You all know that. It's not just up only. If nothing's proved that to you, this last year should have proved it to you. You're not up only. There's a lot of other contributing factors that you can try to subjectively pile on top of why this happened or why that happened. None of that matters to me, right? So from a wider view, here's Bitcoin weekly to weekly. All right, I'll drop the camera off. As you see, 2020 on the right, 2016 on the left, and currently in the middle is now, where we're at right now, price action wise on the weekly charts. I've got 3 circles drawn on each one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Those circles line up with what? Fibonacci levels that are predetermined that Bitcoin has not ever missed. It's never missed these levels that you see on the chart. Does that mean it will hit them this time? No, not necessarily, but it's more likely than not. Is that a fair way to say it? I think so. All right. So those levels go about 128 to 130 for our next quote unquote stopping point. That being said, I just mentioned that 123 would probably slow down a little bit, and it very well may. Again, you might get some chop in here on its way up. I think the ultimate end goal here is between 130 and 175. 175 is the, oh my God, what an amazing run move, because as you see, it's done it before. This is the 1618 from 2016. This is the 1618 right here from 2020 and 2021 and 2022, right? It's the same level on all 3 charts. I've got them lined up literally side by side mathematically so that you can see them and understand that they're all 3 the same. And I realize now the camera is in the way right there. It actually hit a double top back in the day at this level, right? And you can also see where I have it labeled, where it says same time 8 years ago, now, and same time 4 years ago. That way you can understand that they're all literally charted week to week, side by side, damn near identically. All right. Does that mean they're going to do the exact same thing? No, doesn't mean that at all. But I want you to see that Bitcoin's math and the math is still working. All right. No matter what, No matter how much news you want to try to throw in on top or subjectivity that you'd like to add, it doesn't matter. Bitcoin's math continues to replicate. It's a beautiful thing, really. It's why we wish everything was this way. It's why that people speculate it will replace money. That's why people do this, because you can't defeat the math of it. Now you can try, and there's a lot of arguments to be made that, hey man, quantum computing will take away this. I get what you're trying to say. I'm not arguing with you, but it's still speculation at this point. I think it's already taught, Thomas McMahon says. We're going to find out. Would you like to place a gentlemanly wager on that? If so, wap.com/team786, you can get free general access, right? Jump on in there, put $500 on it in the general chat. I'll match your $500 and we'll see who was right. How's that sound? Fair enough? I think that's a fair bet. 500 to 500, right? I don't have a problem with that if you don't have a problem with that. It's like I say all the time. Everyone loves to talk. Not very many people are willing to put their money where their mouth is. I am, and I'm not calling you out in particularly. It's just anyone who would like to take the bet, jump on over there in the general chat and we'll work it out. We'll iron out the details. I'll get one of my admins or moderators to hold the money, and the winner gets it. Fair enough? Fair enough. All right, here's the weekly chart zoomed in with just right now. If I step way back here, you can see the local fibs from January to where we are now. So this is just measuring Fibonacci retracement for this year. Kind of lines out to a couple levels where I've already got price drawn in. It's the exact same thing you just saw on this one, right here in the center. I'm just zoomed into only this one at the moment, right? As you see, this 130 level is right there around the 1414 yearly fib where I'm at right now, showing that that's a likely target. Cool. You can also see that we're hung up on that 1272. And this is in log mode. If I put it in linear, you'll see that 1618 is about 130. So that 128, 130 level still reigns supreme for me. And I think that likely gets held up a little bit. Again, it's just common sense. If I back out a little bit more, things get a little bit more interesting, okay? And I'll jump over to the bigger chart here where we can see it all. I drew these boxes and these lines months ago, and these are actually started trying to chart Fed data, and these are rate cuts and rate raises and or flat rates. And as you see it over time, I've charted them all the way back to the beginning of Bitcoin's history, trying to find if there was any real correlation or not. There's some correlation, but honestly, the data is mixed. It's more so about the time in the cycle for Bitcoin. If you just put up halvings, and you'll kind of see that the math works its way out. From the last bear market, from the top of the last bull market, which was November 21, I'll drag this all the way down to the bottom of the bear market, which was November 2022. We'll drag it on over so we can see it a little better. All right, there's your Fibonacci retracement on the whole bull run. This is the same thing you see here, just again, solo and zoomed in. 130 confluence of that area makes a lot of sense right now because this is the whole bull run. That 130 level just lines up. As you see, the 1618 way up here at the 175 to 177 level. Still, same thing, kind of lines up, kind of makes sense that it's there. Anthony says you're still sidelined. Maybe you should join Discord and see. I've been buying like crazy. I've been buying since before this got green. Hey, what do I know? Anyway, 170, this 130 and this 177 have a lot of confluence. Love to see them get hit. And if they do get hit, you see that 175 level get hit, it may go more than that, but I'm highly, highly leery of that level. You're asking a lot for it to continue pushing by that. Kid just walked in the door, so you may hear the dog bark. Ignore her. Hopefully she realizes it's just one of my kids. All right, here's the month to month. Checking the camera off. 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024. As you see, all four runs are very, very similar. They are not the same. They are similar. They are not the same. They are similar. They're very similar, but they're not the same. All right, as you see, we are still higher high monthly over here. If we close here, obviously the monthly just started. A ton of different things could happen here, but you're still a higher high monthly, still aiming for those same levels that you've hit every single time. 12 years ago, 8 years ago, 4 years ago, now. The arrows literally line up month to month, week to week. There is a variation, and I'm happy to say that. There is a variation of about a week or two sometimes where the wobble kind of happens, where the market's a little bit different than it was before, much like the earth isn't on a perfect axis and it wobbles a little bit. Well, so does this. It's not exactly perfect, but it's very close, and it continues to track well. If I flip this to the monthly, you'll kind of understand what I'm saying here. There you go. You can see it a little bit better now, right? So you can see that higher high on the monthly. If it holds, that was a really gnarly monthly candle 2 months ago. You cannot deny that. It was terrible. Good news is we bullish engulfed that, and now we're showing up on the back side of that linear mode. Flipping it to linear, here you go. 124, 138, both up there at the big upper fibs. There again, I'm right in the middle of that at 130. Knock yourself out. How about this? How about the Bitcoin halving cycle profit indicator? It kind of shows you when to buy, kind of shows you when to sell, kind of shows you when to get in and when to get out. All right, let me drop this over to the, can I do the index one? Yeah, it's even better. There we go. Kind of shows you the halving lines in orange, how you get up for that amount of time. 40 weeks is when you should start taking profits. And after that, 80 weeks is when you should stop taking profits. Same thing happened this time, halving. It even tells you DCA at about 135 weeks from halving, DCA at about 135 weeks from halving, DCA at about 135 weeks from halving. It's almost as if the mathematics of this keeps working out over and over and over and over again, no matter how much confluence or BS news and everything else you want to try to pile on top of it, keeps doing its thing. So it started taking profit areas at around January, which ended up being exactly correct. And it stops roughly October, November, roughly call it December, when the last quote unquote take profit area gets hit for Bitcoin's cycle profit indicator here. Then it's all downhill. That doesn't mean for alts, this is just for Bitcoin. And that doesn't mean that it can't change a little bit. Like I said, there can be some wobble in there, but I do not expect a super cycle. I do not expect a 5-year bull run. I do not expect any of that hype. I don't do hype. I talk about this all the time. I don't do hype. Let's just do data. Plenty of people to go do hype. Not my thing. All right. How about Bitcoin's rainbow wave? This is a really interesting indicator that we thought had failed and now has come back. So far, as you can see, it kind of hits these zones here that are called can't miss zones. And they're colored zones, these diamonds and geometrical shapes here. This yellow zone was a can't miss zone halving year. This red zone is a can't miss zone as in take profit, and that goes up to the bottom at about 160. And then that fib line right there in the green, that green box represents that fib line, that 1618. As you can see, they intersect right over here in December. Will they get up there? We're going to find out. I don't know if it will or not. This hasn't ever failed before. Let me go back in history and look. Here's the Bitcoin rainbow wave getting hit last time. Here's the Bitcoin rainbow wave getting hit in 2016, 2017. Here's the top of that wave getting hit in 2013. It's never not got hit. Does that mean it will? No, not necessarily. What it does say is it's likely. It's likely. On the back side of that, it also tells you when to start rebuying. That's this green vertical line you see right here. Kind of says, hey, this is about the time when you want to start DCAing. That's also where this little green diamond is. It's also the same thing, kind of saying, hey, maybe start considering some rebuys. Has it ever worked before? Well, let's go have a look. Oh, look, right near the bottom was that green diamond. Oh, look, right near the bottom was that green diamond. Oh, look, right near the bottom was that green diamond. Oh, look, right near the bottom was that green diamond. This has happened every single time on Bitcoin all the way back to 2010. Will it happen again? Y'all be the judge. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just an idiot on the internet talking too loud. Maybe you're right. Maybe you know better. I'm just reading data. Knock yourself out. Make your own decision. I'm not a financial advisor yet. This is not financial advice. Do your own thing. I'm working on getting my Series 3 and Series 7. We'll see how that goes. I'm an idiot and I don't read very well, so it's very difficult for people like me. I just like data because it's way easier to see in visual form. You start giving me like word problems and stuff, I'm out of it. I'm out of it. In 10 minutes, we're going to take a drink. I've got some whiskey set to the side because I think it's time to break out the whiskey. It's finally time to start breaking out the whiskey, right? So we'll talk about that in a second. I think I've gone through everything but Bitcoin dominance. Here you go. Same thing we've looked at before. Alt season from before, the bottom, halving, alt season from before, the bottom. Same thing over here. Alt season from before, the bottom, halving, alt season now. When are we going to get when we're going to get our bottom? It looks like December or January. We'll see. So far, she's tracking down. She has started to catch a little bit of support here. Be careful. That's why I hedged with some Bitcoin. I didn't just buy altcoins. I bought Bitcoin as well. Big chunk of Bitcoin. That's more of a safety hedge for me. It might not make as much, but it's also more of a sure thing than other ones, if that makes sense. Also added to my Tesla position, to continue to add to my Tesla position, because that's what I'm going to use as a profit dump for the next bit, because I think somewhere along the line Tesla's going to hit 600 to 800, and if that's the case and it's 440 now, that's pretty darn good gains. And I also don't want to only be in crypto. That's another thing that I don't like. I want to diversify more. It's important, I think. Here's total market cap 1, 2, and 3. As you see, total market cap 1 still way out in front. Interestingly enough, total market cap 3 has broken previous all-time high. Total market cap 2 has not, and it's mostly Ethereum, remember. So this is Bitcoin plus everything minus Bitcoin, and then everything minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And as you see, those are performing a little bit more well. It's also of note that there are way more of them, so it's sometimes easier. Good news is the king is still the king over here, and it's still flexing. I think $4.6 trillion, $4.5 to $4.6 trillion market cap is going to happen. Beyond that, we'll see. I don't want to get hyperbolic yet and make some crazy numbers up that aren't true. I think we should take this step by step. I think that's probably the best approach, a step-by-step approach where we don't go overboard with our numbers, where we kind of try to keep a level head, is the safest bet. All right. That's probably it for Bitcoin. I went through all of those plus total market cap, spent the first 20 minutes of the stream talking about that. That's got to be annoying sitting listening to me talk about that for 20 minutes. Let's get into some altcoins. But first, let's go say hey to everyone, man. I got the chat box pulled up for you right now. So if you say something in the chat in YouTube, if you say something in the chat in Rumble, if you say something in the chat over on X, we will see it. Shout out to Crypto Big D. What's up? 808 Buddha. What's up? What's up, Cheese? Good to see you, brother. Streams, views, quiet. We only getting started, right? I get what I get. I never really complain about it because no one's ever going to do anything about it. Friday in Australia, final day of traditional. Might go into it for the weekend. Interesting thought process because y'all are ahead of us. Massive leprechauns appearing. I would agree. Rule number 4, take your profits. It's very important what she said. Take your profits. Because folks, if you don't take your profits, people like myself will take their profits. You'll be left with nothing. Please don't be the fool who thinks that they're right always and they can never be wrong. You will get burned. Take your profits. Make your plan now, whether that's 1%, 70%, 90%. I don't care what kind of profits you take. But make your plan now so when the time comes, you're able to get your profits and walk away with a smile on your face. I don't want you to walk away with a grimace, because Lord knows we'll have plenty of people walking away with grimaces that come to run to blame Keith. Keith ain't going to take the blame for your failure. Don't try it. Don't try it. You are your own person. You make your own decisions. I come on here and do this so that you all can make better decisions for yourselves. I don't come on here and ask that you copy me. I don't come on here and ask that you do what I do. I simply offer you data, and I want you to make a better decision for you. I think that's the best way to do it. After all the years of doing this, that's the best way to do it. All right? You're not going to see me come on here and tell you what to buy or sell. Not what I do. You're definitely not going to see me come on here and do pump and dumps. Not what I do. I don't take backdoor deals. I don't take promotional deals. I don't do any of that. And if I do, it's for a real company, not for a crypto company. Fair enough? Fair enough. I just don't do that with crypto. And if you think I do that with crypto, say that to my face and we'll have a real conversation about it. But you won't do that. You know better. Shout out to Steve Luke. Good to see you, brother. Cowabunga says, win Lambo. I don't know, bro, how much money you got. Legal Assassins, let's go. I hate Keith. I know, right, bro? You get it. Cowbunga says, I hit like. Can you chart flare? Yeah, we can do FLR. We'll bust it out. Thor's Hammer, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Dragon, what's up, my guy? Thomas McManaham, so I can't really say his name. There's too many M's. He says, I think it's already topped. We talked about that. How do you buy BMNR? I don't know. Let's go look in a minute. Did you ever get a chance to check out C98? Yeah, I think we were looking at it in the chat yesterday, but we'll chart it on here for you. If you'd wonder if I'm buying or selling, well, I use the chart to buy or sell, and you see what I talk about all the time. You tell me whether you think I was buying or selling. What's up, Grant? Good to see you. Kobe Barger says, watching from Columbus, Ohio. Shout out Columbus, bro. Been there a couple times. Watched the UFC. My first ever live UFC event was there. Dan Henderson versus Anderson Silva. Was fucking awesome. Jeff Thomas, what's up, my guy? Sold ZEC last night for others that didn't fly yet. I don't know if it's the right call, but so far it's working out since everything else I picked up has gone up. Interesting thought. So you sold one and you flipped it to another one. It's a great strategy that I use a lot. Just be careful about how much you buy and or sell. I often tell everyone use pieces, right? Separate it up into segments. That way you don't do everything all at once, because if you're like me, sometimes you just like to hit the whole thing and it doesn't always work out. So it's sometimes best to break it off into segments, quarters, halves, thirds, whatever's best for you. And if the whole thing's best for you, then fine, right? But taking profits is never a bad thing. There's never a bad day to take profits. That's all there is to that, folks, and I won't be told otherwise. There's never a bad day to take profits. If someone tells you not to take profits, block that person, because they don't have your best interests at heart. BNMR is a stock, ETH treasury company led by Tommy Lee, so you can trade it on any brokerage. Perfect. So thank you, Sir Sigma. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for watching. Shout out to that guy. He gets it. Shout out. All right. So before we go doing a bunch of altcoins, it's time. We haven't had a drink on this stream in months, but now's the time. I got my steel ice balls. I have my XRP whiskey glass. Where are you guys at? You guys got an XRP whiskey glass? I bet you don't. And how about some rarely drank Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch? Still got half the bottle. I don't drink very much anymore, fellas. Is what it is. I try not to. But let's pour one out. I'm not going to have a lot. I've got to deal with kids and a wife after this. A little bit more than that. That's a little bit of a bitch amount. There we go. I got to deal with kids and a wife after this. And it's Thursday and football comes on. And I got to Zoom later. We'll do some more drinking later. How about that on the Zoom? Try not to do too much drinking because I'm getting older. Nonetheless, shout out to all you guys who continue to come back and watch, who continue to show up and don't want to quit. I appreciate every single one of you who come on here. We're about to blast through a bunch of altcoins. I'm going to record some of them. I'm going to make clips out of them and repost them. Please, if you see me post clips of the videos, give them a repost, right? And let everyone else see them. Give them a like so all the rest of the world can see what we see. Cheers to you guys. I super hope we have some big moves here. You're about to see a bunch of charts I'm going to go through, and they all look pretty darn good. So prepare yourselves mentally. Get it locked in. Write some stuff down. Make a plan. Let's follow the 4 rules. Number 1, no emotions. Number 2, have a plan. Number 3, have a backup plan. And rule number 4, the most important rule of all, folks, take your profits. Cheers to you guys. Let's tap the camera. Dink. Oh, that is good. You forget how good it is when you don't have it for a while. Good and strong too. Whew. Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch. Shout out. Oh, by the way, my Constellation coaster. How bad does that make you? How mad does that make you, folks?
Damn. God damn.
I know I got it though. Now, let's jump into some charts, shall we? Enough chit chat. Enough talking. Let me wash that down. Boy, I haven't had any whiskey in a minute. Tar Heel water cup. All right. Goodness gracious, fellas. Whew. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. All right. I got a whole list here. Let's crack into it. Let's start this off with Ethereum. Ethereum bullish engulfing on the weekly. Note that we have a very large candle coming off of the trend line right here, coming off of the 886 line. Not quite through all-time high just yet. And if I zoom out a little bit, you'll see it a little bit better. These are old buy lines. Let me erase those now. That was my previous price at 2,200, right? And I rode that up and took profits. Now I've started to rebuy again. All right, so anyway, here you can kind of see my buy line. Why did I buy it there? Well, on the daily chart, I'll show you. But first and foremost, the weekly. That trend line's still holding true. As long as this trend line holds true, I'm locked in, right? Down to the daily, here you go. You start to see what I'm thinking here. All right, so you had this wedge breakout, exactly what I wanted to see. But before the wedge breakout, you had two closes over the 8 EMA, exactly what I wanted to see, and you jumped the 821 EMA, another exactly kind of thing I wanted to see. I set my bid was hit, bam, I'm in. Now I've thought about buying more of this, but I haven't yet. Why? Because this candle hasn't closed yet. Looks like it's going to close pretty darn good. I think you would all agree with me on that one. But I would like a little bit of red to come in here to give me a chance to buy in just a little bit lower. I think we might get a little bit of red tomorrow. Don't know yet. We haven't had a chill Friday in a long time, but I would like a chill Friday. I like a just normal, modest price action. Probably won't get it, but I'm hoping for it, because if so, I can put in a bid to buy some more, right? I've taken bites out of the market. I haven't just thrown all my money in yet. I've been trying to be a little bit more systematic about it, but we're over every single moving average now. Good. Pivot points, you still have R1, 2, and 3 in the way. The only thing you've gotten over so far is the pivots, which did shift when the new month started. Okay, excellent. Ichimoku cloud, you are breaching the Ichimoku cloud right now. We have a red cloud on the end. Don't want to see that. You have the lag line over the candles. That's good. You have the price over the cloud. That's good. You have the conversion line under the baseline. That's that blue line under the red. You've only got 50-50 on your Ichimoku cloud right here, which kind of tells you be careful. So since it's telling me to be careful, and even though it's improved, I'm going to give it to the end of the day to close, and then I'll make another decision. Either way, things still looking on the up here. I like this thing to at least run the previous all-time high, which is about 4,900. Then we'll see from there, right? I don't think it's going to go all at once. You know, October, I get it, but it doesn't mean all at once. So we have 29 more days to go. Let's see how this checks out. All right, so there's Ethereum. Now we'll go over to, thank you, fellas. I got to be careful on that. That whiskey's tough. I can still feel it. I got most of those on the list already by land, I think. Yeah, I got all those on the list already. What's up, Mr. XRF? Sorry about that. B. Henry, shout out, guys. Sorry I missed you over on Rumble. You guys over on Rumble, give it a like and give it a repost. There's buttons right there underneath the stream that let you do that. If you guys would do that, that would be awesome. All right, so XLM. Let's jump over to XLM real quick. Start on the weekly, zoomed out here. Whoop. It used to be a thing whenever I would draw on the chart and make a mistake, I'd say, whoops, let me erase that, and I'd have to take a drink. I'm not doing that. I don't have the fortitude right now to drink that much. All right, so weekly wise, I'm really tickled about this. Why? Because it's trying to break out. But first, I want you to see a more wide view. If this is a breakout, we have targets on the up front here. 50 cent would be my first level, 50, right? After 50 cents, you're looking at previous all-time high, which is 63. If we get above 50 cents, it can hold 55 or 56. I think we're going to make a sprint toward $1. And if that's the case, it's 125% gains from here on the weekly. Now down to daily. All right, down to daily. Why did I buy this? Well, it broke out. You can see the breakout right there. It might back test. It very well may. And if it does, that'll give me an opportunity to buy a little bit more. I'll make my mind up on that later. It's broken every moving average. You can just forget about those. It's over all of them. Pivot points, it's into R1 and R2, which you just saw a moment ago on Ethereum, as it wasn't even there yet, right? So this was just a little bit ahead of Ethereum. Ichimoku cloud, you're still stuck in it. You'd like to see it above that. So again, it gives me a little bit of caution not to go freaking crazy on this. Think about it systematically. As far as your RSI and your MACD, hey, she's curling up. I like to see that. And as far as the RSI goes, she was super overbought back in July. She's been nominal since then, but she is making new highs on the RSI, which I like to see. It shows me increasing strength, and increasing strength is not a bad thing. So if we get loose here, I'm hoping we can get to end of the year around $1, which would be 125% gains. Could you get more than that? Sure. But I think we should take baby steps and not get into the hopium. All right, sweet. So there's XLM. Chainlink. All right. So Chainlink's going to be a similar story. Look at the structure on Chainlink where this weekly's holding the line here. I could draw this a couple different ways. I'll put it in linear mode. I was actually looking in linear mode in some of these to try to get a different perspective. And they also have uptrends as well, so it doesn't really matter. They're both in uptrends. Big bullish engulfing on the weekly. I like it. That needs to hold, obviously, but I like it. Back over the 8 EMA on the weekly as well. Also like that. Down to daily. Why? Well, here's why. 821 breakouts, exactly what I wanted to see. Good buy pressure down here on the bottom as it was making this hook up like that. The only thing I don't like is it's still stuck under the 50 and it's still technically in a little mini downtrend. So this might take a little bit to work its way all the way out. But what I see here isn't a bad look at all. In fact, it's much improved. So if you can get over that 50 moving average, which I just showed you on a couple other ones, they have great progress, great success. I'm hoping that great success continues. You know what I'm saying? We'll see if we can get to DOT, Super Adamo. I don't know if we'll be able to or not. I got a bunch of other requests already. That's a fair thing to do. There's other requests got in a little bit before you did. All right, so there's Chainlink, XCN, USD. We made a killing on XCN back in the day. All right, XCN still consolidating here. But look, hey, she did jump the 8 EMA, and you're about to get your second close over the 8 EMA in a row, which is great. Now, you'd like that to be over the 21 EMA as well. It didn't quite get there, as you see. It's not quite there just yet. It tried. Didn't quite get there. It's in the wait a minute zone, which is between the 8 and the 21 EMA. That means you could just wait a minute. It did have a really, really wicked run up, and since then it's slowed down a good bit. And you could argue that, hey man, still a downtrend, don't bite. I get it. For a safety buy, you could go over the 50 moving average if you so choose, or you could use something like the Ichimoku cloud that shows you it's not even close, and this thing might actually continue to consolidate for a bit. So be careful. Could be worse. It has retraced all the way back to support. Can't argue with that. It's a decent look. If I flip it out into weekly, you'll see, hey man, we're stuck under this 100 moving average. I need to see a little bit more than that. Getting over that 100 moving average would change a lot of stuff, wouldn't it? And she could work her way back up out of the mud. That's XCV, not XCN, but nonetheless, it could work its way back up out of the mud. Now let's do XCN. There, yeah, same difference though. They're almost identical. This one will be a little bit better. Weekly. I had XCN on the chart and XCV, both of them right here side by side. So I just clicked on the wrong one. Weekly, you're stuck under the 50 moving average. I want to see it get over that. Do you see how it wicked? It hit those and wicked. That's not good enough. I needed over that. Daily wise, hey man, you were having a day, but you smacked that 100 moving average and peeled back. Let me see if that's on other exchanges. Sometimes one exchange to the next, yeah, it's on every one of them. So be careful. You're getting a little bit of a hold up right here, a little bit of a liquidity grab, so be careful. And you can clearly tell she's still in a downtrend. Baby steps here on this one. It's not quite ready. Some water. All right, what do you say? What do you say we hit everybody's favorite XRP? All right, XRP. So I'm gonna pull up my actual XRP chart. How about that? This is my personal one. So I've already rebought this. As you can see, she's threatening a breakout here. I like it. You can see my buy line right here. Why did I buy that? Well, she was fighting the moving averages. It held support very well and Since it held support the way it did, I did take a chance on this and get a little bit risky with my buy. Now, she's over all those moving averages and poking her head up, as well as stuck in the cloud, but that $3 level that I mentioned on the last live stream is now trying to get broken. That's a big deal. Obviously, I want to see it make a new high, because if it can make a new high right here, we can aim for these green target boxes, which are about 325 to 350. Getting up to that level changes things, because I can zoom out to the weekly and show you that if it does get out to that level, I can pull fibs on this just on the year, this year alone. And you see up here 1272, 1414, 1618 lined out at 425-ish, 420-ish, hey, 465 to 475, and then that $5.50 to $6 range. That's price discovery. It's more difficult to chart into price discovery, but it is not impossible. We do know what happens when we get into price discovery. We tend to run to previously hit Fibonacci levels, and I'll show you as such. Now, previously in XRP's life, back to 2013 down to the bottom, what did you get? You got a run up. It went all the way through the normal take profit fibs, and it got all the way up to the 2 and the 2.72 fib. Perfect touch right there. And then she failed back down. When you're in price discovery, Fibonacci levels matter. Why? Because they're mathematical tendencies that repeat all through life, all through history, etc. If you ever went through a stoplight, they use an algorithm to determine when the stoplight starts, when the stoplight stops, and they do that based on math. They don't do that based on speculation. They don't do that based on we don't know what'll happen. It's not the case at all. It's more of a certainty than not. That's the way to look at it. Is it pinpoint perfect accurate? No, it's not. I'm never wanting to be pinpoint perfect accurate. I'm just wanting to get close, more close than 90% of people. And by using a chart and by using data, you're going to get closer than most people who are just buying with their heart. You don't want to buy with your heart. These are investments. They don't care about your heart. No one cares about your heart in this. And I'll challenge you with this. Do you think anybody really cares how you feel? Like seriously cares how you feel? Do you think anybody seriously cares how I feel? No, the answer is no, they don't. So take those feelings out of it and just use the data. I'm still hopeful for this. I like it. I'm not going to buy anymore. I've got enough. I don't like to overdo it on buys and sells, especially on super high caps. And this thing's well up in the high cap level, well up in the high cap level. As this goes, it's going to get harder and harder to multiply. If this goes up to where I want it to, I'm going to get about 100% gain. I'll be pretty tickled with that. How about you guys? What do you think? Drop a comment below and let me know. All right, there's XRP. HBAR. Hot data. All right, so HBAR sort of going along on the same triad here, working its way through the mud. You could argue that it hasn't broken out just yet, and you could argue that this structure wasn't as clean as XRP's, where XRP was all on the same level. You can sort of see HBAR on the bottom side of that level instead of being flat with it like XRP was. You remember that? Look, I see how it's more flat, right? HBAR's got a little bit more slant down here, so it's a little bit of a downward channel that it needs to break out of, and it hasn't quite done that yet. But worth noting, she has improved. Look at that. She's into the moving averages now, into the 100 and the 50 moving average, as well as the 821s under there fighting back and forth. Hasn't quite made its mind up what it wants to do yet, but it's trying. It's trying. All right, so pulling fibs on it all the way down for the year. If this holds true, it can get through this trend line, then we're looking at a quarter to 35 cents up to the 618-786 levels. I do think those happen. Beyond that, iffy. Are we going to make new highs on a lot of these? Probably not. Will we make a new high on HBAR? Possibly. And if so, 55 to 82 makes sense. Beyond that, we'll attack those levels later. There are big hurdles to jump first before we go too much farther. If we get through this trend line, like I said, I think we do again, a quarter to 35 cents. First stop. Beyond that, 55 to 82. Temper your feelings, temper your expectations, and let's lean on the safe side, okay? Let's not go silly with things. Let's not be cute. All right, Terra USDT. Terax. This one's going to be a no, I can tell already. She's still under everything. That's still under the previous low. Not quite good enough. And I flip it out to weekly. She's still rolling over, playing dead. I need to see this back over 0017 before I would go yo on it. For now, not quite good enough. Peak. Grab some water real fast here. All right. I've bought peak and sold peak and rebought peak. Why? Well, let's look at it. So first of all, we've got this big rounded bottom formation that's slowly panning its way out. I like that. What about the weekly? Just on the candles, we have a bullish engulfing forming. I like that. If we pull Fibonacci retracement on it from the top to the bottom, and now we're wanting to see how much of a difference we've got, right? We'll pull these fibs on out here. We've got some room to look at them. Whoops. Drop that a little bit down. So I matched that bottom and I matched that top. All right. So we're bounced that 236 fib perfectly on the weekly. I like to see that. Throw in some moving averages. You're cracking the 821 EMA. Excellent. How about the Ichimoku cloud for the weekly? You're fighting the baseline right now. Get above that baseline. That opens up the bottom of the cloud. And as you see, the bottom of that cloud slopes around right here, but does run up all the way to 25 cents. Does that mean what I think it means? Maybe, maybe not. Let's not go that far yet. All right. S1 pivot on the weekly is in the way at about 14 cents. But if you can get loose of that and you flip this to linear mode, the 236 is at about 21 cents, which happens to be about the 50 fib in log mode, which is a full-on possibility. From here, that's 80% gains. Not bad. That's my thought process on this. Could it go farther than that? Absolutely. Daily wise. Problem, you're getting hung up right here in the mud. Hasn't quite broken through it yet, but it is over every moving average. That's why I'm in it, and that's why I think it can go some more. Wormhole. Dog's bumping into me over here. All right, let's flip over to MEXC chart on this one. You're going to have a similar situation. You see how far down it is, right? Great. That means there's a lot of gains to be made. Go look at the market cap, and you'll realize it's not a low cap coin. It's got a lot of money behind it already. Cool. I like the weekly hammer candle that I see right here. That's excellent. Maintain that weekly hammer candle because that just means likely more up. 821 EMA on the weekly. You're getting a good cross right now. You got your 50 moving average acting as a little bit of a speed bump right there, about 15 cents. But we're only at 11.3 right now, so there's good gains just there. All right, on the daily chart, similar sentiment where you got still technically a lower high. You can see that right there, a lower high. But you are over every moving average, selling nicely. You're over the pivot. That's nice. You're over the Ichimoku cloud. That's nice. This could be way worse. And honestly, looks not too bad. Looks not too bad. That's why I'm in it. And that's why I'm going to leave it to be for a bit. Soto says, oh, snap. He's pouring one. One. I poured one. That's it. I don't want to go crazy with it. All right. So check this one out. So this is from Rockstar over in the Discord. He pointed this out. No, not big bio. Here you go. So been looking at this one on the weekly chart right here. You had a big drop down, big sweep, and a bit of a rollback. This is forming a cup and handle right here. All we need left to do is break out of this short-term downtrend that it's in over here on the daily chart, right? As you see, she's fighting the 50 moving average right now. Hasn't quite got through that over the hump just yet. You also have the Ichimoku cloud in the way. But once this thing breaks this trend, we could see an improvement rather rapidly. Like I told you, got a cup and handle going right here. And if it works out and gets loose, she's got a lot of room to run. Here's the top. There's the bottom down there. I've just split the difference. As you see, we're hanging on to that 382 fib. And that level is going to be crucial because hanging on to that's important. If you don't hang on to that, you're coming down to this 236 down here. So I don't want to see that happen. I want to see it hang on to that 382 fib because if it can, the next target becomes 20 cents again. 20 cents and up. Hey, man, look, up to 786, just to the 786 from here. That's 200 to 300%. Not bad. And if it does more than that and gets into the extensions, which are a bit silly right now, but that's 1,400 to 4,000%. That's a 14 to 40x into the extensions from the current price. Does that mean that will happen? No. There's a lot of hurdles in the way first, but I want you to be aware that a lot of these are looking more bullish than not. And if they're going to do this and look more bullish than not, and we're going to have some more breakouts, there's a lot of money to be made. So please bury your head in these charts. All right, there's that one. All right, Cardano. Cardano. All right, so let's get into the weekly first. So I've got trend lines pulled from all the way back when the bear market ended. I'll move this over here to the fibs to kind of pull the entire bull market here and give it a more broad spectrum view. I'm going to drag this out a little bit more to give us a little bit easier view of it here. That kind of looks like it's touching correctly. I'm not sure yet, maybe not. But we are riding on the 50 fib here, which is very nice. Nice bullish engulfing off the 50 fib. I like that a lot. Now, also, you're fighting that one. I'm sorry, let me zoom in here. You're fighting the 8, 21, and 50 moving averages here. Those 8 and 21 are exponential moving averages, and the 50 is just a moving average, all the while support or resistance. And you're trying to get through them all at once right now, which is awesome. Love to see it happen. If it can do that, muy bueno. Because that next level is 113 to 114 up to the golden pocket. And then you got 170 to $2 up there to Sniper's Alley, which would really, really, really move the needle. Daily wise, you're fighting the 50 moving average right now. I've been in Cardano already. I've only bought a half amount. Why? Because I'm a little bit worried that it wasn't going to get through this 50 moving average, and I didn't want to take a massive risk. Also note, she's still sort of stuck in a bit of a wedge, bit of a downtrend here, and it hasn't broken out. Might still take a little bit to get there, but I like the improvement. I like the fight. Look at the MACD trying to curl up. Note a lot of lower highs and lower lows. You see those, right? Right? She's been stair-stepping her way down with lower highs and lower lows. I don't like drawing trend lines on oscillators, but you get the idea. That's a big slope down that hasn't broken yet. Can it break? Yeah, sure it can. Hasn't yet, though. RSI is going to be almost the same exact sentiment. You can see what I see right there. She's not quite broken out, but she has improved a lot. And since that's the case, keep your eyeballs locked on her. Sui. All right, Sui. We don't chart this one a ton. We should, because it's a very popular coin with a lot of money in it. All right, so note that there's a solid uptrend here on the weekly. Note, just like Cardano, you're trying to take back the 8, 21, and 50 moving averages all together at the same time on the weekly. Excellent. Daily, hey, better than Cardano, huh? Breaking the 50 and the 100 and bouncing off of them cleanly. That's very nice. Now, obviously, got a little bit of a downtrend right here you're still stuck in. You'd like to see that improve. Good news. You're over the pivot. That's awesome. About the Ichimoku cloud. You're into the cloud now. You haven't gotten over it. You still have a red cloud at the end. You don't want that. You want that to be green. All right. You do have the lag line over the candles. That's good. You do have... No, sorry. From there on, that's it. That's all the good you've got. The price is still in the cloud. It needs to be over the cloud. And the baseline and conversion are upside down. You need to see that blue line over the red line, and right now they're upside down. Going to take a little bit of improvement to get better. Close. Can't argue with it. It's close. How about the oscillators real quick? We'll take a poke at them. Let's see. All right, MACD. Hey, I see you. She crossed up, and she's got green volume coming in. That's good. And then our RSI, you can still kind of see it slope down, but it did hold that mid zone nominally. I can't wait too long on this. I'm already in it some. Should I buy more? Well, I haven't decided yet, but for now, I'm going to let it ride. I really like this weekly look because if she breaks loose, I like her to go up way more. I'll pull out that right there and show you on the fibs. Here you go. So Sniper's Alley's up there between $4 and $5. That's a pretty good game. But if we get above that, $8 to $12, call it 10, would be super awesome. So we'll see. I'm not trying to get over my head on it, but I think there's a solid possibility. Baby steps, you know. I'm here for it. I'm going to stay in it for now. And like I said, I may add to it. I don't want to get overboard with it. All right. MYX. Terry, I actually bought more Tesla yesterday. I don't think it's done at all. I think it's likely to keep going. I think it's likely to break all-time high, and it's likely to hit 6 to 800. Yeah, I already talked about it. I just didn't chart it yet. MYX Finance. Boy, she's had a hell of a ride up. Look at the stair step to heaven. Now, I want to warn you, that's pretty ugly. And before you get too happy with it and say, I'm buying the dip, I get it. But that looks like that's going back to the 50 moving average to me. I would be very careful. And here's why I say that. Because this can happen. Let me pull up a better one. Alpine USDT. Yeah, look at that. What was going really well for Alpine F1 GT team, yeet, looks like a rug pull to me. Adios, and there she went. That's a terrible looking chart, and that same thing can happen for MYX. So I'm going to warn you, please have a stop loss and don't get wasted. Because if you do, it's your own damn fault, right? I like it so far. It's failing the 821, so be careful. It could get worse, and if it gets worse, it's going to burn you really bad. So baby steps. Flare. Haven't done Flare in forever. Man, we used to spend so much time on that stupid thing trying to get coins and win bullshit that never mattered. Man, we wasted a lot of time on that. But good news here. Weekly, you are still over the 50 fib. I like that. That's a continuation fib. And if you're under that, you continue down. If you're over it, you tend to continue up. Overall, the moving averages on the weekly, that's nice. Daily, she's kind of just flirting, slowly building pressure here. You haven't failed anything yet, so good. Here's monthly, and as you see on monthly, she's been back and forth a little bit, but she is still technically broken out. That leads me to 30 to 35 cents as the next likely target, and then we'll reassess from there. It's a slow march for this one, but you can't argue it's still going up. BMNR. All right. This is the miner that was asked about, Bitmine Immersion Technologies. Post-market, she's down a little bit, but she's had quite the jump up recently. Jumped over every moving average on the weekly. That's awesome. You see all those gaps it left in the daily. It's a very, very choppy chart. BMNR. Let's see if I find a cleaner one. Might not be able to. Nope, that's going to be the cleanest one. Just got to deal with what we got. Flip it out back to a higher time frame to be a little cleaner. But you still see it's kind of stuck in this channel down here at the bottom, and it's been chopping along in it for a while. You are over all the weekly moving averages, which is good. You're over the pivots, which are all good. But that does mean it might slow down a bit. That being said, she's still got an uptrend going. You can clear as day see it right there. Can't argue with it. Clear as day. Trying to march its way up. As long as that continues and doesn't fail, not bad. C98. All right. KuCoin. Big move today. Holy smokes. Look at that thing go. Let's pull back out on the weekly here and look. And remember, please be careful, because while she's had a good day today, she's still down a metric ton from $4.60 down to 3 cents. Be very, very careful. She's over the 821 weekly. I like that. It's doing all this just at once. It's a little worrisome. It jumped every moving average. I like that. But let's see it back test a little bit here and hang on. If so, we can work our way back up to 10 to 11 cents, and then we'll talk about it from there, because after that, there's resistance everywhere. There's resistance everywhere. That being said, it's not bad for the moment. All right. What's up, Wesley Hart? All right, last one will be Polkadot. Damn, we haven't done Polkadot. We haven't talked about Polkadot on this stream in forever. So let's have a gander at it. All right, moving averages on the weekly, all lined up right above the price, but it is breaking the 821 on the weekly. I like that. All right, jump out to the daily, and all at once now, she may be doing something here. All the moving averages were bunched up, like we like to see. They all pinched down in the one spot, and then crack. Now she's over it. We can take those moving averages out. Don't need them anymore. Pivot point, she jumped that as well. I like that. That's awesome. Ichimoku Cloud, you are almost 4 out of 4. Almost 3 out of 4. Sorry, you've got the lag line over. That's good. If this closes today, it's likely to flip this cloud on the end green. Price is over the cloud. That'll be 3 out of 4. The only thing got left is baseline and conversion line to switch back the other direction, and you'll have a good look on that one as well. All right, flipping it out to MACD and RSI. Your relative strength index still has plenty of room to go up. It's not overbought, still nominal. And the MACD, not bad at all. You're just starting to cross back upwards in the green. You can see how long it tends to last in green. I'll usually get more than one green volume bar, and we've just got the first one now. So DOT's looking a little bit more on the up than it used to, you know what I mean? Hey, nice. We've seen some progress. We're seeing progress across the board. Excellent. It's exactly what we needed, folks, and I hope you've been paying attention because I'm not stopping here. We're going to keep doing this twice a week. Please be mindful. The 4 rules are crucial. Rule number 1, have a plan. Rule number 1, no emotions. Almost messed that up. Rule number 1, no emotions. Rule number 2, have a plan. Rule number 3, have a backup plan in case you're wrong. Rule number 4, the most important rule, take your profits. If you don't take your profits, someone will take them for you, or someone like me will get them. I don't want to take your profits. I want to take profits with you. Fair? Fair. Thank you all for watching. I super appreciate it. You guys could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. We got over 600 people watching on a Thursday at 4 o'clock. That shit's baller to me. Badass, and I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Let's have a better day than we had tomorrow. Things are improving. You can feel morale start to come back up a little bit. Had a little drinky poo, not too much. Good. Let's stick with it. Let's keep this momentum going. Let's stay locked into the charts and do a little bit better every day. And last but not least, you guys could have been anywhere in the world. I've already said that. I appreciate it. You guys are going to have a better day than the day before. I appreciate it. If anybody else told you today, Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on the next live stream Tuesday. Zoom tonight for the subs over in Discord. Better come and hang out. We're probably going to turn up. Better be ready. I like having a good time. You guys should like having a good time with me. I'm out. I'll see you on the next live stream. Sky's the limit. Peace.